Hi and welcome to the Wonderwall podcast. My name is Andrea and I am known as Andy J on Ravelry. There is a Wonderwall podcast group on Ravelry and we would love you to join and come and say hello if you haven't already. And I haven't been very good at uploading show notes lately, but my blog is www.healthykidshappymama.com. And you can find me on Instagram as healthykidshappymama.com. So how have you been? It has been a couple of weeks since I last recorded. It has been a very busy couple of weeks and I have had some serious computer issues in the last couple of weeks, so much so that I now can't use my computer. I think I'm going to get a new one, but it would still be good to sort of assess what the issue is with my desktop, because it's just dying every time I turn it on, which is really sad because it means that I can't upload videos the way that I would normally. So I'm recording this episode on my phone and I'm going to try and upload it using iMovie. I've not had success with that before, so we'll see how we go. So today I'm going to talk about my Etsy store and I'm going to talk about my works in progress and some stash enhancement, but it's going to be short and sharp because I think I only have about 15 minutes before my iPhone will tell me it doesn't have enough memory. So let's get going. Normally, obviously, my episodes are about 40 minutes long, but today and for the next little while, I can't really promise how long or it's going to be. But if this works, then I can maybe do weekly episodes for a little while. So that might be a bit of fun. Ooh, I'm also going to talk about a book that I've just finished reading, which was quite enjoyable. So let's get going. The other bit of announcement news is that I did extend the knit along that was going in the Wonderwall Ravelry group until the end of October. So please feel free to join in. It is Turn of the Season Cal, which is basically showing off your hand knits that have reminded you of the new season. And you can see today I'm wearing my Sun Rays shawl by Mina Phillip from the Knitting Expat podcast, and it's very spring colours and nice and light, which is lovely. Although it's not too bad here today. It's overcast. It might get a little bit warmer later on. So for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, you might not know that I recently opened an Etsy store. And it is called Wonderwall Designs on Etsy, and at the moment I have a whole range of stitch markers available. Hopefully in the future I'll also have project bags, but at the moment I can manage stitch markers. So I'm going to show you what we've got. So I've got 4 sets available at the moment. This is the first one I'm going to show you. This one's called Run Rabbit Run. And if you can see the little stitch markers there, if they're coming up, there's a little gun, a carrot, and a rabbit. And then the next one is called Big Boys Toys. And there you go, there's a guitar, a gun, and a motorbike. And then not down the garden path. I do have down the garden path, but it is, I don't have any made up at the moment. I've only got the individuals. On the down the garden path one, there is a snail, a apple, and something else that I can't remember right now. And this one here is woodland creatures. There's a little deer, an owl, and an acorn. So they're a bit of fun. Hopefully I've priced them quite reasonably. For those of you in the US, postage, the cost would be great right now because our exchange rate, our dollar is quite weak, so against the US dollar. So lucky you. So that's the Etsy store. I would love you to go and check it out, and hopefully if you feel like treating yourself or somebody that you love who you know loves knitting, Christmas coming up, they will definitely arrive by Christmas if you order before December. I think once we get to December, I can't guarantee that they would arrive before Christmas. So there you go. And hopefully people enjoy them. I use them in my lace projects. They do fit up to a 6.5 US size needle. The rings are quite large, but I like that because it means that they slip from one needle to the next really easily. I've tried to make them as snag free as possible. Filed down the join in the jump ring, but I can't promise that they are completely snag free, although I've never had any problems. Rightio, so let's move on to works in progress. I've got them down here in a little basket. I'm not going to show you all my works in progress, given that this is an abbreviated podcast episode. I've been working on some socks this past couple of weeks. I went to Melbourne last weekend and I think I knit 2 rows, which is crazy because you would think that given I was at a conference by myself, I would have plenty of time to knit, but I didn't. I found lots of other things to do. So this is the first one. This is a sock, one sock, the first bit done up to the heel. I am using Opal yarns in rainforest, the rainforest themed colorway called Congo Sally. I've never knit with Opal before, and I think it's quite a thick yarn. I think I was saying this last week, but yeah, it's coming along nicely. I've got my higher sharp 2.5mm needles there that I'm using them for, and I'm going to be entering this into the Fairy Little Twitch and Stitch podcast knit along for Opal yarns. Okay, and we're all tangled up here. So the second thing that I cast on this fortnight, was another pair of socks, and I've got them here in my little doggy bag. Doggy bag. Do you guys call that? You know, when you when you go to a restaurant and you take some of the food home with you. Do you call that a doggy bag? We call that a doggy bag here in Australia. Anyway, I knit up some socks, some little ankle socks, so you can see they're quite short. I'm just past the heel on the first one, on my 2.25. This one's on my 2.25 Knit Pro needles, and I've got a little, oh, can you see? Oh, it's catching the light. There we go. It's an apple stitch holder, row counter. This is the yarn that I hand dyed, and I absolutely love how it's knitting up. This is the second sock. I'm just up to the heel. I did start actually knitting these socks 2 at a time on one needle, but I didn't enjoy it. I was getting laddering down one side of the, you know, where the 2 needles sort of met, and I actually felt like it was more laborious and taking a lot more time than it does for me to knit one sock at a time. So I separated them onto different needles, and I was just knitting 20 rows on one and then 20 rows on the next. And then I didn't, because I was going on the plain and these ones are on my highs, I didn't want to take these to Melbourne. So I took this one to Melbourne and did the heel on the plain, and then, yeah, I didn't really do, like I said, I didn't do very much knitting in Melbourne at all. And I haven't knit on any of my other projects at all in the last fortnight. It's just been one of those weeks. It's been crazy. So that's my works in progress, which is not very much, but that's okay. I received in the mail this week the most amazing swap parcel from a lady in America whose name on Ravelry is Barbie. It's Barbys, and I am so it's amazing. I'm so grateful because she sent me the most beautiful things. I'm just thinking whether I'm about to get interrupted by a small person. So I'm actually just going to show you the wool that she sent because I have about 4 minutes left. So she sent me some Peyton's Croy. Oh, and I can't find the other ball. Where it is. Here we go. Here we go. Peyton's Croy sock yarn. Yay, this is one that I've wanted to try because it's something that people seem to rave about. This is the blue striped rag colorway. So, yay, can't wait to knit with that one. Looks fun. She also sent me this skein of Regia Perfect, which is a yarn that you knit in a particular way using this yellow thread as a guide to start the next sock at the same point as you started the first sock, so you get a perfect matching pair. So that's another fun one. Thank you very much. I wish I'd show you all the rest of the stuff that she sent, but there's so much. She sent me some beautiful tea, some Tazo tea, and she sent me some really, really yummy coffee, hazelnut flavored coffee, which I love. So that was just, I feel so incredibly fortunate and grateful. So that was fun. And when I was in Melbourne, of course, I went shopping. I went on a little bit of a yarn crawl, actually. And I bought some Madeline Tosh. Yay! I bought the Tosh DK, which is the plied DK weight. It's 100% superwash merino, 225 yards to a skein. And this colorway is called Ink, I think. I saw it somewhere. Yes, Ink. And it's really pretty blue, variegated blue. And I think it's just lovely. So that's going to become a hat. And I bought this skein from a beautiful shop in Melbourne called, and the name's Woolarium. That's right, Woolarium. And I met the owner and she was just beautiful. We chatted. She showed me the color charts that Blue Sky Alpacas send to her to choose what yarns she's going to order for her store. And she's just got a beautiful store, and there's a gorgeous little knitting area out the back of the store, and it made me want to live in that part of Melbourne. So that was so much fun, and I really enjoyed that. So thank you to the owner of Woolarium for allowing me to see your beautiful shop. And the other shop I went to in Melbourne was Yarn and Co. And another beautiful store. That one's in Fitzroy in Melbourne. The Woolarium was in Northcote. I caught the tram to both. And I bought 3 skeins of Quince & Co. Turn in the colour Back Bay. I think they're all Back Bay. I hope so. Yes. Back Bay. And as you can see, that's a really pretty blue. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to make with that one yet. I'm thinking perhaps the Blom pattern by Mandarins, Bee Mandarins, Melody from the Bee Mandarins podcast. But I felt so lucky to get my hands on some Quince & Co. in person. and it really is lovely. I had a really hard time deciding. They also had some Fibre Company yarns in that shop, in the Yarn & Co store in Fitzroy, and I had a really hard time deciding what to buy. She had some hedgehog fibres. That was a little bit out of my price range. I can buy hedgehog fibres from a shop not too far from, well, it's 5 hours, but, you know, closer than Melbourne, which we might go to a weekend away nearby there. It's called Convent and Chapel. Convent and Chapel is a store up in near Mudgee in the New South Wales inland, with New South Wales. So really, really excited. That was the highlight of my trip to Melbourne, actually, besides visiting my good friend. I have had quite a bit of stash enhancement. I'm just looking at it here over my shoulder this past fortnight, but I will save that, and I might do the next episode next week and put all that stash in. Yeah, because that's a whole lot of fun. So, and the last thing, hopefully I won't run out of time on my video, is this is the book that I've read this week. It is called The Dressmaker by Rosalie Ham, and it was beautiful. It's just been made into a film. It's set in rural Victoria in Australia, and it's about a woman who is exiled from her town as a child, sent off to school, and then comes back. And when she comes back, she's been to Paris and learnt to be a couture dressmaker, and she's it's a funny story. It's very Australian, so people from outside of Australia might not be able to relate to some of the tone of the voices of some of the characters in the book, but I think that many Australian people will really enjoy this book. So I encourage you to read it. I haven't seen the film. I would like to, and maybe next weekend I'll go and see the film. So I thank you so much for joining in and listening to the podcast this week. I'm sorry that it has been a little on the brief side, but I'd rather give you a brief podcast than none at all. I will be back next week. Normally I podcast every fortnight, but I will podcast every week until I get this computer issue sorted. So thanks for joining in, and I'll see you next week.